even as a prophet of God, a person can become very short-sighted at times, and they cannot see the proverbial forest for the trees. If you're looking for a forest and you came to a bunch of trees, what would that tell you? You're in the right place. But because you're looking for a forest instead of a group of trees, which is the definition of a forest, you continue to look. And you vainly go on and on and on. Well, I got a message from a brother this morning who I am sure did not see my pleadings. And the thing that frightened me, or the thing that worried me, was that when I came down to saying this is my last video, people would start to promise fantastic things because I put the guilt trip on them. And that is not the way a Christian obeys God. And I wondered if that flurry came, which it didn't, how would I discern the people who were doing it because I said something, and those who were doing it scripturally and said, hey, God has moved me to do this? Because certainly, I say again, anytime God moves somebody to do something, there is a reward. And that reward will be abundant in nature. I took my last video off because two people came and patted me on the back. And though we are many thousands of miles away, I felt that pat. Brother, you know who you are. I just received your mail and God sent you to encourage. Sister, you know who you are. And I've mentioned you before. God has done fantastic work. And I am revived. And I am prodded, encouraged to go on. And the unseen mention of what your ministry is doing in people's lives, and I have received a few since I put that last video up. And it was in my heart to quit because I was tired of sitting under the burden of worry and concern and trying to speak faith to a people that I knew would eventually read that something wasn't right. And it's easy to get discouraged and down. I want you to remember Elijah, who had just come from Mount Carmel and who had seen the fantastic deliverance of God, who had overcome all of the prophets of Baal belonging to Jezebel, the queen of Israel, wife of Ahab. And he had seen an answer to prayer that was so fantastic. Hundreds of prophets were burned up at the word or the curse of Elijah. And Elijah went into the wilderness, and after he heard that, between there, I'm getting ahead of myself. But between there, Jezebel sent him a letter. And she said, God do so unto me, and more so, which is the beginning of a biblical curse, or at least the Old Testament curse. It's an oath. It's a promise that it's going to happen. And more so, if by tomorrow you are not like one of these prophets of Baal. In other words, dead as a doornail. And Elijah let discouragement take the front door. And Elijah said, I've got to get out of here. And he fell before God in the wilderness and he said, Lord, I'm alone. And she seeks my life. There's nobody else around. He was discouraged to the point that he felt so alone. I know that feeling. I've just gone through it. But month after month after month that I have worried about how much I could give on paying back this bill has just worn on me so terribly. And I tried to get a PayPal account, and evidently you have to make God's ministry seem like a business, and I have a very big distaste for that. And I have to put it under the auspices of business here at PayPal Philippines. And I went to other groups who offered the service for so much a month. And as I said before, I'm not even sure that I would get the donations that would cover the monthly bill. So it would be kind of cutting off your nose because your face would look different. Cutting off your nose to spite your face. And a couple of them even required a PayPal account. I wrote to PayPal in the U.S. I sent them an email inquiry, and I asked them, is there any way that I can create an account and just have personal or non-profit until such a time that I pay this off, pay this bill off. And that was my whole intention, was to pay that bill off. I do not want to get into needing more money every month because my ministry is expanding, and for some reason God expands it and He doesn't supply me the wherewithal before. And I don't know. I've gone through a very bad time. Not a very bad time as far as my faith and my stability goes. But the enemy came in like a flood. And it seemed like God was not there to raise up the standard against him. It seemed like God was hearing me, and people were telling me, even my wife was telling me, wait on God, wait on God. Month after month after month after month. And if you would say to me, well, What about the televangelists? What about the big evangelists on television? They don't have to wait. They are asking for money all the time. And people are shamed into sending that money. Or their faith is in something else, i.e. the piece of the cross of Jesus. Holy water from Hezekiah's tunnel. A prayer cloth from the body of the prophet or the evangelist that is trying to raise money. All of these things build up a fervor and a fever in the persons, and the evangelists know this, and they become performers. They become something that, when you look at it truthfully, it's not used of God. First of all, why would somebody say, for me to use faith for God to supply my needs? But yet, they're using faith for me to supply theirs. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's why I don't get involved in the money situation. As I said, my need is $600. 600 American dollars. I owe still, out of an 80,000 peso bill, I still owe 40,000 pesos. I have paid back half of it, and $600 would be approximately $60,000 pesos, and I would pay back the rest. It would be a burden that I could carry. And if anybody is been led to move or been led to help out, and certainly the brother that sent me a message this morning, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want the offering hounds to get a hold of his compassion and misuse it, just like I didn't with the sister that sent me an offering. But if anybody is interested, I have to take my offerings through Western Union, and you have to send me the amount so I can put it down. If you live in the States, the state that you're from, and the amount that you're sending, so that I can put it down on my receiving request here in Manila. And I want to thank the two who, and the other people who sent me words of encouragement. I know that financially everybody is strapped. I know that the televangelists, Trinity Broadcasting, the 700 Club, and all of them dwarf me. And we have to figure out who is really sincere and who is just trying to make a budget. Now, as I told you, I have one need, and that's it. when I get that need supplied, as soon as I get that need supplied, be assured that I will notify and stop anybody else from sending anything. I do not want an overmuch. I just want to have the strength to go on from here. And I thank you, brother. Like I said, you know who you are. And your letter this morning and your promise of a gift of love was the lifesaver that I needed. I was in the wilderness, I was on my face, and I was telling God, it's enough, I'm done, I'm empty, and you came along and picked me up, dusted me off. So God bless everyone who has given me an encouragement, a promise of prayer, and by the grace of God, I will go through. But I don't want to be selfish either. And for those who find a help, encouragement, learning, strength from my videos, I don't want to selfishly just grab them away. I am going to set up another account at what they call godtube.com. That's godtube.com. And I'm going to try to put some different teaching up there. Now, the name will be either A Prophet or George Pentecoff. I haven't got any videos up there right now on this thing, but I may see about being able to set up a donation thing in the auspices of GodTube, because it is Christian oriented, and I want people to understand that I am not trying to make a living off of their living. There's a genuine need. If there was, I would say nothing about it. I've given out over 300, almost, I think it's over 350 videos, and you can watch 98% of them, and there's no mention of money, offering. Send me your address and I'll send you a offering envelope or something, or send me $20 and I'll send you a personal prophecy. Nothing like that. It's just that the last while this has bore on my mind. I've had to pay this off slowly, slower than I'd like to, and I would like to get it out of the way and free my spirit from this obligation. So if anybody would like to donate, and anything would be appreciated, you donate at George Pentecoff. That's GeorgePennicuff, 1672 Dion Street. That's 1672 Dion Street. That's DIAN. Barangay, BRGY, period, San Isidro. That's SANISIDRO. Makati, MAKATI, Philippines. and the zip code is 1200. Then you have to send me by message or by email the amount that you're sending. As I said, the state that you live in, your name so that I can put it down on the receiving part of it, and the control number of the transaction. And God bless you in advance. I cannot say how hard this has been on me to sit here and grovel, to sit here and to make some of my personal life known. But I feel like I've come to the point where it's either fish or cut bait. I've got to make the decision that I'm going to humble myself before God, and God will either accomplish it or I will end up paying for it and be concerned about it. God bless you. God keep you. I love you all. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you if you even go to God in prayer and consider sending $20. Because if all of my subscribers sent $10, it would be enough to do what has to be done, because the exchange rate here in the Philippines is different. A dollar is worth what you could call $43 here, but things are expensive and it works out to be $20. But the only thing that I'm looking for is not for you to support my family, not for you to support me so I can fly off to Honduras and preach a big meeting, but just to clear up something that has vexed my soul, something that I worry about daily. And the person that I owe I have no more contact with them. The only way that I can let them know that I've even done it is I make a deposit for them in their account. And I'm sure that their patience is running thin. But God is going to help out. And I want you to know that my temporary discouragement, my deep depression from last night is over, and I'm going to get up and let God take the reins. God bless you. Maranatha.